Hello everyone. In today's topic, we'll discuss about the immunodeficiency, its type, and the information pertaining to the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which is known as AIDS. So, in connection to the previous lectures, basically immunodeficiency is an increased susceptibility to an infectious disease due to immune disorder. It is basically a genetic disorder which is present in the individual because of the defective genes which are being transmitted from their parents. So, immunodeficiency may further be classified into two types: primary and secondary immunodeficiency. Primary immunodeficiency syndrome or immunodeficiency, it basically exists from the birth. A person in this case may lack B cells or T cells or both from birth. Such a person is highly susceptible to infection. A serious congenital disease known as severe combined immunodeficiency, which is SCID, results from the absence of both B and T cells. In developed countries, such children have been kept alive in germ free or isolation suits similar to the space suits. SCID is basically caused by a defect in the gene that codes for the enzyme adenosine deaminase. You will study about this topic in biotechnology. The lack of this enzyme makes the body defenseless against the infection. SCID is the first genetic disorder to be combated with gene therapy. The second one is secondary immunodeficiency, which occurs in normal individual, in which originally normal immune system gets impaired due to prolonged illness, or it may be due to malnutrition, radiations, certain use of drugs. Example for such type of disease includes the AIDS. Now we'll take the topic, that is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, that is AIDS, and what is its history. Basically, AIDS is a serious health problem that threatens the entire human population. It is fast spreading incurable disease. It was first noticed in USA in the year 1981. It is a disorder of cell mediated immune response or immune system of the body. There is a reduction in the number of helper T cells which stimulates the antibody production by B cells. This results in the loss of natural defense against viral infection. It is caused by a virus named HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus. The virus was discovered in 1984 by American and French scientists independently. Their names are Robert Gallo and Louis Montagnier, respectively. AIDS may have passed from monkeys, that is, monkey was the host, into the human population in Africa during the year 1960s. It is heartening to know that only 10% of the people who gets AIDS or virus infection actually develop full-blown AIDS. Now let's check what are the modes of transmission of the AIDS. AIDS is basically transmitted through the following four means, which is being described in your book. One is through sexual contact with the infected person. Second one is transfusion of the contaminated blood or blood products. Third is by sharing the infected needles, as in case of the intravenous drug abusers. And Fourth one is from infected mother to her child through placenta. So the people who are at high risk of getting this infection includes individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individuals who require repeated blood transfusions, and children born to an HIV infected mother. There are certain misnomers, or you can say uh, in- misbeliefs which are prevalent in the society regarding the transmission of AIDS. That is, um, there are different means through which AIDS is not being spread from one person to person. So, in this, because it is not a contagious disease, it does not spread by casual contact such as handshake, by body contact in a crowded public place, working or playing together, sharing telephones, meals, sharing the utensils or cloths, eating food cooked by an infected person, light kissing using some toilet sheets or swimming pools. It is also not transmitted by blood sucking insects such as mosquitoes. Coughing and sneezing too do not spread AIDS. Healthcare workers, friends, and family members do not contract AIDS, or they are getting AIDS from the patients. So, AIDS viruses have been found in urine, tears, saliva, breast milk, and vaginal secretion, but it seems not to be transmitted by these fluids unless it is get into a cut. Let's check what is the structure of the AIDS virus. So here you are seeing the electron transmission microscope images of the electron, that is AIDS virus. HIV is basically 100 to 140 nanometers in its range, or in diameter. It has a cylindrical core, single stranded linear RNA, and reverse transcriptase enzyme is surrounded by glycoprotein coat, double lipid membrane, and two protein coats. It is basically diploid, as it has two copies of RNA molecule. HIV is found in the blood and semen, and to a lesser extent in milk, tears, and saliva. It is a retrovirus, which means that its genetic material is RNA, which can make a DNA copy of itself with the help of the enzyme, that is reverse transcriptase. The virus binds specifically to a surface receptor on the helper T cells and introduces its RNA and a reverse transcriptase enzyme into the cells. Here it multiplies and releases the new viruses that destroy the cells. AIDS occurs when the number of T cells falls too low to fight to the disease. Let's check the replication of AIDS virus. It is a picture which is being taken from the NCERT book. See, retroviruses, basically they are having the uh, either DNA or RNA as a main core particle. So in case of AIDS virus, it is the RNA which is being shown here in the purple color, and viral protein coat is surrounded over it. When the virus infects the normal cell, protein coat is it remains outside the cell membrane of the host. Only the genome, that is RNA, it enters inside the cell of the host organism, where the viral DNA is being formed by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, and this DNA is being incorporated into the host genome. Now, after the incorporation of this DNA molecule, multiple numbers of RNA, that is new viral RNA, is being produced by the infected cell as its own messenger RNA, and these new RNAs, they ultimately form the new RNA viruses, and it may or it may not destroy the host cell. So Here in this case you can see the host cell is not being destroyed, only the multiplication of the viruses is being taking place, and in this course the viruses are being released and then they ultimately infect the new cells. So what are the preventive measures or control measures to prevent this infection? So basically those symptoms or those factors which include the that is the mode of transmitter, when we are aware of these conditions, how they are, how the viruses they are being transmitted, so avoiding these conditions or preventing ourselves from such conditions will help us to prevent this disease. Now what is the method of identifying this virus? So it is the ELISA test, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, through which we can screen out whether the person is having AIDS or not. So after getting into the body of the person, the virus enters into the macrophages where RNA genome of the virus replicates to form viral DNA with the help of the enzyme reverse transcriptase. This viral DNA gets incorporated into the host cell's DNA and directs the infection to produce virus particles. The macrophages continue to produce viruses, and in this way it acts like a HIV factory. Simultaneously, HIV enters into the helper T lymphocytes, replicates and produces the progeny virus. The progeny virus is released in the blood and attack other helper T lymphocyte, which we already discussed in this section of this diagram, which is being shown here. This is repeated, leading to a progressive decrease in the number of helper T cells. This is very important to notice here, that number of helper T cells it will decrease, and the lymphocytes they are being infected in the body of the infected person. During this period, the person suffers from bouts of fever, diarrhea and weight loss. Due to decrease in that could have been otherwise overcome, such as due to bacteria, especially mycobacterium, viruses, fungi and even parasites like toxoplasma. The patient becomes so immunodeficient that he or she is unable to protect himself or herself against these infections. So let's see what is the treatment of the AIDS. Basically, AIDS can be treated with antiretroviral drugs, which is the only partial effective method of its treatment. However, they can only prolong the life of the patient but cannot prevent the death, which is inevitable. So what are the preventive measures of AIDS and how we can prevent the AIDS? As AIDS has no cure, prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infection more often spreads due to conscious behavior patterns and is not sometimes that happens inadvertently, like pneumonia or typhoid. Of course, infection in blood transfusion patients, newborn, that is from mother, may takes place due to poor monitoring. The only excuse may be ignorance, and it has been rightly said, do not die of ignorance. In our country, the National AIDS Control Organization and other non-governmental organizations, that is NGOs, are doing a lot to educate people about AIDS. World Health Organization has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infection, making blood from blood banks safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals and clinics, free distribution of condoms, controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex and promoting regular checkups for HIV in susceptible populations are some of such steps which has to be taken up. Infection with HIV or having AIDS is something that should not be hidden, since then the infection may spread from many more people. HIV or AIDS infected people need help and sympathy instead of being shunned by the society. Unless society recognizes it as a problem to be dealt with in a collective manner, the chances of wider spread of the disease increase manifold. It is malady that can only be tackled by the society and medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of disease. One thing which I want to mention here is about the incubation period. The incubation period of AIDS patient may range from 6 months to over 7 years, and the total altogether average is around 28 months. Okay, thank you.